This isn't just an audiobook, it's a reminder of who you truly are. The law of unforced power shows you that the life you desire isn't earned through struggle, it's embraced through surrender. The same power that shapes worlds is already within you, just waiting for your permission to flow. Let's dive into this. Deep inside you, there's a fundamental truth that's often ignored. Rediscovering it has the potential to change everything. This truth, shared through the ages by the wisest minds, teaches us that real power comes not from forcing things, but from letting them be. The universe has its own effortless way of bringing things into being. Look around. A flower doesn't strain to bloom, a river flows without effort, and stars shine without trying. They just exist in harmony with the natural laws that govern the universe. Yet we've been taught to believe that success comes from striving, from pushing against the tide. This ancient wisdom tells a different story. When you stop the constant hustle, when you let go of all that effort, you tap into a force greater than what any human effort can achieve. This isn't about being passive. It's about opening yourself up to receive. It's about finding your flow, aligning with the natural order that always moves toward abundance. The universe wants to express itself through you, but that can only happen if you stop blocking its path with the actions you think will help. Within these stories lies a way to power that goes beyond what we typically understand. It's a return to your innocent state, where what you desire comes not from force, but from aligning with reality. This is the power that brings dreams to life and turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. You're on the brink of remembering what your soul has always known. The greatest power lies not in doing, but in being, not in forcing, but in allowing, not in controlling, but in surrendering to the vast wisdom that runs through the universe. Part 1. The Awakening of Silent Power. Chapter 1. The Whisper Beneath the Noise. In a quiet village, Evelyn tended her garden every morning, just like she had done with her husband for 30 years before he passed away. But now in her solitude, something began to change. While others offered well-meaning advice about moving on, she felt something shift within her. While keeping busy, she discovered a pull towards the peaceful moments between her tasks. In those quiet spaces, a subtle understanding began to form, not a voice, but a presence guiding her steps at just the right moment. It orchestrated encounters and insights that no planning could have matched. The greatest force in the universe doesn't push. When you stop the endless doing, planning, and striving, you open up to a sacred flow that's always been there beneath your life. This force needs no effort. It only asks for your trust and surrender. It's the ancient truth that wise people have found throughout history. Real power doesn't come from exhaustion, but from alignment. Many people waste their energy trying to control the river of life, wearing themselves out paddling against its natural current. You've been taught that success comes through struggle and constant action, but the deepest truths of the universe tell a different story. In stillness, we find the seeds of all creation. In silence lies the power that moves the world. The universe itself didn't emerge from chaos. It sprang from the perfect stillness before anything began. In the busy financial district, Clifford sat in his empty office, surrounded by the pieces of his failed business. 2 decades of relentless effort had brought him to this moment of total loss. With nothing left to lose, he finally paused. No more planning, no more worrying, no more forcing solutions. In that surrender, something amazing happened. Ideas flowed easily, opportunities appeared effortlessly, and the very success that had always slipped through his fingers now seemed to seek him out. It felt as if success had been waiting all along for him to step back and let the universe's abundance come to him. These stories resonate with your journey. Like Evelyn and Clifford, you may have spent countless hours fighting against the natural rhythm of life, believing that more effort would bring better results. Yet the universe's greatest wisdom lies in the spaces between your thoughts, in those moments when you finally let go of trying to make things happen. It's in these sacred pauses that your true power wakes up, connecting you to the infinite intelligence that has guided creation since the beginning of time. As dawn's first light breaks, find a quiet spot to sit for just 5 minutes. Allow yourself to simply be. Focus gently on your breath. Just let it happen. Observe how things flow naturally. Free your mind from all the tension and need to control. Watch your thoughts drift by like clouds. Don't cling to them, but don't push them away either. In this quiet place, listen closely. Here, in the silence, your soul speaks. The universe has its deepest secrets and greatest gifts, just waiting for you to be open enough to receive them. In a moonlit garden, Franklin sat still, his hands resting on his knees. After years at war, he had been battling memories in his mind. Every daily moment felt like a fight, and he jumped at every unexpected sound. But on that night, as the gentle breeze rustled the leaves, he uncovered something life-changing. The war was over. Not just in the world, but inside him too. The peace he long searched for in far-off places had always been in his heart, just waiting to be seen. The universe isn't moved by what you do, it responds to your energy. When you fight against life, resisting what comes, you create chaos that disrupts your reality. This pushback forms a wall that keeps blessings at bay. It's like a radio stuck on static, unable to tune into the beautiful music life offers. The truth is, your inner state shapes what comes into your life. When you stop the internal battles and lay down your worries, control, and resistance, you sync with the natural rhythm of existence. It's not by forcing things that you find abundance, but by letting go and trusting the greater intelligence that runs everything. In this graceful surrender, you realize you've always been connected to the source of all creation. Meanwhile, in a home nearby, Dorothy was pacing her kitchen. Her children's busy lives were laid out meticulously on the calendar. The more she tried to control their lives, the more chaos erupted. Tantrums flared up, grades dropped, and family joy faded into a constant struggle. But one day, worn out and defeated, she chose to let go. She stopped pushing, stopped controlling, and stopped demanding perfection. In that release, she found a new space of peace. Something incredible happened. Her kids started to thrive, each finding their own way with a freedom she had never thought possible. The chaos of trying to control everything in her family began to fade, and instead they blossomed with genuine joy. This story reflects the truth in your own life. Where are you still fighting? What battles do you face every day, thinking you're protecting yourself? The power you long for isn't in control, but in letting go. When you stop fighting against life's flow, you realize that the river has always known where to take you. The universe has been cheering for your best since before you took your first breath. Take a piece of paper and write down the part of your life where you feel stuck in battle. Feel the weight of that struggle as you hold the paper tight, then let it go in a meaningful way. Burn it, bury it, whatever feels right. This act reflects the surrender of your spirit. As you watch the words fade away, understand that you're letting go of resistance within yourself. This ritual isn't just a gesture, it's a powerful promise to flow with the divine current of life, moving towards your highest self. Now let's talk about the illusion of effort. In a tiny village surrounded by hills, there was Harold. He worked hard from dawn to dusk, digging tirelessly, convinced that treasure lay just beneath the surface. The villagers watched as his hole grew bigger, but only filled with dirt and rocks. Harold's hands became rough and his back ached, yet he kept going, driven by fear. He believed stopping meant losing everything. Season after season, the pit he dug, which could have swallowed his home, became a symbol of his frantic chase for success. Here's the thing. Effort driven by fear creates a barrier between you and what you want. When you move through life with desperation, you disrupt the natural flow of the universe. Like Harold, you might end up pouring energy into something that takes you further from your true path. The universe works through alignment, not force. When your actions stem from anxiety, you just create resistance in the very things you want to manifest. This hidden resistance, strong yet unseen, gets in the way of the abundance you want to attract. Think about those times you tried to swim against the current, believing that more effort would bring better results. The law of attraction doesn't listen to how hard you push. It tunes into how clear your energy is. When you let go of fearful actions, you open the door for the natural flow of manifestation to take over. In this space of surrender, miracles happen easily, often in ways beyond what you could have imagined. Take Mabel as an example. She was a go-getter, always bustling about with a packed schedule. But when illness forced her to rest, she initially struggled. She thought everything would fall apart without her constant effort. Yet as the days rolled on, something amazing happened. Opportunities she'd chased for ages began to show up right at her doorstep. Partnerships blossomed without her trying. Success, which she had fought so hard for, flowed in easily during her time of stillness. What Mabel learned, and what you need to see, is that your relentless striving often puts a barrier between you and what you truly desire. The universe knows way more than your meticulous plans. When you step back from obsessively doing, you create room for divine timing to work its magic. In this sacred surrender, you align with the age-old rhythms of creation that have been guiding existence since forever. Tomorrow, from sunrise to sunset, try this. Resist the urge to force things. Don't rush to fix what seems broken. Avoid filling quiet moments with noise or trying to solve issues prematurely. Just watch how life unfolds when you loosen your grip on control. Record in your journal the times when solutions surfaced unexpectedly, when issues resolved themselves, and when what you wanted came to you through simply allowing. This practice of conscious surrender will show you the unseen hand of universal wisdom that's always been there, working for you. And now, in a sunlit studio at the edge of town, Lucille stands before her canvas. Her brush is ready, yet it remains still. For months, she'd tried to force herself to be inspired, setting strict painting hours and demanding creativity to show up on cue. But each time, her canvas remained blank, and her frustration grew. The joy of creating was replaced by the weight of expectation. One autumn morning, she broke her routine and strolled to the riverbank near her home. As she watched the endless dance of the water, something inside her began to soften. The river didn't struggle. It simply flowed, weaving around every obstacle, changing the earth with its gentle persistence. That evening, Lucille painted until dawn, her brush moving like the water across the canvas. Each stroke was an expression of surrender to the creative current that had always been there. You, too, are meant to flow like water through life. Just look at a stream. It never fights against the stone. Instead, it carves out magnificent canyons over time. This captures the essence of true power, not the force of will, but the wisdom of water. When you align with this natural flow, life can create its masterpiece through you. Ancient sages understood this truth. Real strength isn't about resisting, it's about yielding. It's not about forcing things to happen, it's about flowing with them. Warren, a successful executive, believed that control was the key to success. He scheduled every minute, planned every outcome, and built walls against uncertainty. Then a flood came and swept through his carefully maintained garden. For days, he fought against the water with sandbags and pumps, exhausting himself in the process. Only when he finally stepped back did he see that the flood had actually brought rich soil right where his garden needed it, nurturing ground that had been barren under his careful control. Like Warren, you might be blocking your own flow, thinking that strict control leads to the best results. But the universe has a wisdom that goes far beyond your plans. When you let go of your tight grip on life's current, you open yourself up to possibilities you could never have imagined. This surrender isn't weakness, it's the highest form of wisdom. It's a recognition of the perfect order that exists beyond what you can see. So stand by flowing water, whether it's a grand river or the simple stream in your shower. Let the sound of the moving water remind you of life's natural rhythm as you listen or feel it all around you. Water flows, carrying a quiet truth. I let life move through me. Picture any blockages, your fears, your need to control, those hard expectations being washed away. Feel yourself becoming as fluid and unstoppable as the water, a channel for the universe's endless creativity and abundance. In a little chapel nestled among ancient oaks, Virginia knelt every morning. Her whispered prayers bounced off stone walls that had heard countless pleas over the years. Day after day, her voice grew louder, filled with urgent requests, her knees chilled by the hard floor. But the more she yearned, the more distant the divine guidance felt, like trying to spot a star that slips away as you strain to see it. One evening, worn out from her endless prayers, she simply sat in silence, too tired for words. As the last sunlight streamed through stained glass, casting colors across her still figure, something amazing happened. In the quiet, she finally heard the universe speak, not in words, but in a deep knowing from her heart. It was a revelation, gentle yet powerful, like the first breath of dawn. You need to realize that the universe doesn't respond to endless requests. It listens to the quiet essence of who you are. When you stop the constant asking, when you let go of the flood of words that often hide your true desires, you open yourself up to receive. Your energy, the vibe you send out, speaks louder than any words, carrying your truth to the farthest reaches of creation. This truth was clear in George's life. A famous speaker, he took pride in his way with words. But despite his skill and polished arguments, he found his influence fading. His words bounced off unseen barriers, leaving his audience unmoved and his purpose unfulfilled. Everything shifted when illness robbed him of his voice. In silence, George discovered that just being present, aligned with inner peace, touched people on a deeper level. His calm confidence and centered energy drew people to him, even without a single word. In the stillness of his silence, he tapped into his greatest strength. This reflects a timeless truth. Your energy is your real voice in the universe. When you align yourself with what you truly want, instead of always asking for it, you enter a space where things start to happen naturally and easily. The universe doesn't respond to what you say, but to who you are, the silent melody of your true self, connected to a higher purpose. As the day winds down, find a quiet spot where you can be alone, a little haven for your spirit. Sit comfortably and hold on to your deepest intention in your heart, not as a demand, but as a cherished truth. For 5 minutes, try not to form words or move around. Just be with your desire, letting it resonate quietly inside you like a guiding light. Allow your whole being to turn into a silent prayer, a pure wave of intention beyond words. This practice connects you to the very language of the universe, the profound silence of pure existence, where all creation starts. Now let's talk about a secret the world distracts you from. In the busy heart of a city that never sleeps, Marjorie lived in constant motion from morning till night. Her life buzzed with notifications, calls, and an endless flow of information. Like many, she had forgotten what silence felt like until a surprising power outage went on for an entire weekend. At first, that silence seemed like an enemy. She found herself craving the screens that wouldn't turn on, her mind racing for connections that weren't there. But as time passed, something deep inside her began to awaken. Without the constant noise of technology, she started to hear the lost language of her own soul. You see, modern life has created a thick veil of noise that hides the wisdom you seek. This endless flow of information doesn't enlighten. It drowns out your inner voice, the compass guiding you to your highest good. That voice speaks in whispers and can't compete with the clamor of 1,000 notifications. The ancient sages knew this, retreating to mountains and deserts, not to escape life, but to hear it more clearly. When you step away from the noise, you rediscover a deeper listening. The power has always been inside you. It doesn't need charging or updates. It doesn't crave outside approval. It just is, and it's been waiting for you to remember. This same power has guided seekers for ages, a divine intelligence that flows through everything, including you. Take Stanley, for instance. His days were packed with podcasts, news feeds, and endless scrolling. His mornings were a blend of digital chaos, checking emails while brushing his teeth, reading headlines as he made coffee, and listening to audiobooks on the way to work. But underneath all that hustle was a tired soul craving peace. One day, everything crashed. His devices failed him. In that unexpected quiet, he stumbled upon something incredible. In the gaps where he usually filled the noise, he found a clear mind he didn't know was there. The silence he'd feared turned into his best teacher. In that stillness, solutions to problems he'd been wrestling with popped up effortlessly. The truth became clear. The outside world wants your distraction, but your spirit thrives in peace. Every ping, every notification, every headline pulls you further away from the wisdom inside. Real power doesn't come from staying wired to the world. It rises when you reconnect with yourself. This isn't just some idea. It's how the universe works. Now, for the next 24 hours, create a space of silence. Disconnect from all your tech, phones, computers, TVs, radio. Just keep a simple journal nearby. As thoughts come up, let them spill onto the page. What comes to light when the digital noise fades away? What whispers do you catch in the quiet? What truths have been waiting for you? Write these down. They're messages from your soul finally getting to speak. This practice, so simple yet so deep, has changed the lives of many who dared to listen to the wisdom that silence can share. In the heart of an ancient garden filled with wildflowers lived Edith. Her hands understood the language of the earth. Each morning she would plant her seeds and care for her garden, but she never dug them up to check their progress. Her faith in what was happening beneath the surface was strong and steady through dry spells and bountiful harvests. Just like her, you too hold seeds of desire within you. Your heart is like Edith's garden. These seeds need your trust more than your constant watchfulness. The universe runs in perfect order, even when you don't see it. It's making countless hidden moves that will eventually come to life. This divine plan doesn't stop, whether you notice it or not. It follows timeless laws that have shaped creation forever. When you plant a seed, you don't force it to grow. Instead, you create the right conditions for it to bloom naturally. That's how the law of attraction works. Your job isn't to rush the flower from the seed. It's about keeping a sacred space where growth can't help but happen. In that gentle caring, you find your true power, the power of allowing. Take Raymond, for example. He had a dream of expressing himself through art for years, but felt stuck, battling outside challenges. Then one day he started painting in his basement and didn't tell anyone. He stopped discussing his dreams or seeking anyone's approval. In that quiet space of creativity, something changed. His energy, no longer scattered by endless chatter, focused on pure expression. That silence became his teacher and strength. Months went by, and without trying to promote himself, opportunities began to surface. A neighbor spotted his artwork through the basement window. A local gallery owner crossed paths with him. His art made its way into the world, not through his struggle, but because of his alignment with the universe. It recognized the genuine energy in his creations and opened doors that hard work alone couldn't have unlocked. The truth is spoken through these stories. The most powerful changes often happen in the dark, in silence, in that sacred space where there's no one watching or judging. Like the seed beneath the earth, your desires grow quietly within you. Your task isn't to rush them into the light, but to trust the wisdom of the journey. This age-old principle has guided wise ones and creators throughout history. The universe doesn't respond to your words or how closely you keep watch. It responds to your energy. When you learn to align with this principle, you become like Edith, patient, trusting, completely in tune with how things naturally unfold. Your faith becomes the rich soil where miracles begin to grow. Take a moment to connect with a deep desire you feel today. Do one small thing that serves this wish, but keep it close to your heart. This is your little secret, just you and the universe. In this quiet, you'll feel your connection grow stronger, knowing that behind the scenes, so many forces are working to make your desire a reality. Trust this sacred journey, just as those before you have, because in silence, the strongest magic happens. Now let's talk about the art of doing nothing. In a busy city where life never stops, Agnes measured her value by how long her to-do list was. Each day brought a mountain of tasks and meetings. But then her body decided to take a break that her mind was too stubborn to accept. She collapsed on her couch, too worn out to keep up her frantic pace. What happened next changed everything for her. As she surrendered to rest, something incredible stirred inside her. The mental haze that had clouded her mind for so long began to clear. Suddenly, solutions to problems that tormented her for years began to appear almost effortlessly, and opportunities she had been chasing came to her naturally. True power isn't about constant doing. The universe works in cycles of action and rest, just like nature flows through its seasons. When you resist these natural rhythms, you block the very flow that brings you what you want. Walter, a respected surgeon, learned this lesson himself. For years, he took pride in working longer hours than anyone. His reputation soared, but inside he was dimming. It wasn't until a health scare forced him to slow down that he realized his biggest contributions didn't come from relentless work. Instead, they sprouted from the wisdom he found in moments of pause. In the quiet between his thoughts, answers that had slipped away from his busy mind began to surface. His life-saving innovations didn't stem from endless research, but from times of simply being with himself. These stories reflect a truth you feel deep down. Stillness isn't a lack of power. its power in its purest form. When you give yourself the chance to rest, you open the door to so much more. Rest deeply without feeling guilty or fighting against it. When you do this, you naturally connect with the universe. This connection is what brings everything you've been wanting right to you. Here's a sacred practice. Choose a day in the next week. Set aside 2 hours for absolutely nothing. No books, no music, no meditation apps. Just be. Let your mind drift. You can lie on your bed or sit in your garden, watch the clouds float by, or notice the light patterns on your wall. Most importantly, let go of any guilt about this time. Pay attention to how your energy changes, how your thoughts become clearer, and what insights come to you during this time of rest. Remember, this isn't laziness, it's spiritual alignment. In these moments of doing nothing, you become a clear channel for the universe to do its magic. Chapter 9. The Unseen Hands of the Universe. In the depths of winter, Clara found herself alone in an empty house, surrounded by photos of a life now gone. The passing of her husband left her feeling lost, and no amount of planning seemed to give her direction. But in her moment of surrender, as she finally exhausted herself trying to fix things, something amazing began to happen. Neighbors started knocking on her door with warm meals. A distant cousin called out of the blue, offering to help her get her finances sorted. A part-time job opened up at the local library, a place she loved but had never thought about working. Piece by piece, a new life began to come together, guided by an invisible hand she hadn't noticed before. The universe has an intelligence that's beyond our understanding. When you stop trying to control every little outcome, you make room for this divine magic to work for you. Sometimes our struggles don't come from a lack of help, but from blocking the very support that's trying to assist us. Take Eugene, for example. He spent 20 years chasing the dream of opening a specific type of restaurant in his hometown. He tried everything, loans, partnerships, different spots, but nothing clicked. Eventually, worn out and defeated, he let go of that dream. Within months, he inherited his aunt's small cafe in a nearby town. It wasn't what he initially wanted, but this unexpected opportunity turned out to be a gift, the foundation for something much more rewarding than you ever imagined. These stories reveal a key truth. The universe isn't waiting for your perfect plan or endless hustle. It's waiting for you to let go. When you stop trying to force things, you create space for a deeper wisdom to arrange everything in ways you could never have thought of. Your job isn't to control every detail of your life's symphony. It's to play your part, trusting the unseen conductor who knows the whole score. This trust isn't just sitting back. It's an active, spiritual practice. Take a quiet moment to write a letter to the universe. Pour out every worry, dream, and desire you've been holding on to. Don't hold back. Write like you're talking to a loving force that only wants the best for you. When you finish, find a special spot, maybe under a tree, by the water, or in a cozy corner of your home. Leave your letter there saying, "I release these desires into divine care, trusting they'll unfold perfectly for my highest good." Let that letter sit for 7 days. During this time, notice how life starts to shift when you truly let go and allow the universe to take the reins. In a small coastal town, Hattie spent her evenings watching couples walk along the beach, feeling lonely. Every day, she wrote detailed lists of what she wanted in a partner, attended every social event, and scoured dating profiles until her eyes hurt. The more desperately she looked, the more love slipped away, like sand through her fingers. The universe responds not to desperation, but to alignment. When you cling tightly to what you want, you create resistance that pushes it away. This ancient wisdom teaches that real manifestation happens in letting go. The law of attraction works in mysterious ways. What you chase will run, but what you release will come back. Holding on to outcomes sends out a signal of lack, telling the universe you feel incomplete. But wholeness is your natural state. From that place of completeness, all your desires can flow to you easily. In a small mountain village, Leonard spent years chasing success. He thought it was just around the corner, always one achievement away. He collected degrees, titles, and awards, but true satisfaction still slipped through his fingers. It wasn't until illness forced him to slow down that everything shifted. In this pause from the relentless chase, success found him, showing up in forms far richer than he ever imagined. These stories reflect your own journey. When you let go of that tight grip on what you think you need, you open up room for what's truly meant for you. This doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. It's about trusting that they will come to fruition. When you release your desires, you tell the universe you're ready to receive. So here's a sacred practice. Find a quiet moment, maybe at sunrise or sunset. Think about what you deeply long for. Acknowledge how it feels to not have it. Then, with all your heart, say these words: I release this and trust it's already mine. For the next week, let this desire sit in sacred silence. Don't talk about it. Don't chase after it. Allow the universe to work its magic without your interference. Just observe as what's meant for you finds its way back home. Now let's talk about effortless flow. In the busy heart of a city that never sleeps, Arthur was constantly battling life. He tensed up at red lights and snapped at shop attendants. Every day felt like a war, leaving him weary and worn. But what he didn't see was that his struggle against life was creating the chaos he was trying to escape. You have the power to turn that resistance into flow with one simple change: acceptance. When you stop fighting against what is, the universe starts working with you instead of against you. This age-old wisdom reveals something powerful. It's not about giving up. It's about actively saying yes to life as it unfolds. When you trust deeply, resistance melts away like morning mist. Arthur's real change began when he finally chose not to fight anymore. In that moment of surrender, he said yes to a delayed train, yes to a canceled meeting, yes to getting caught in the rain without an umbrella. To his surprise, each acceptance cleared the way for unexpected blessings. Gifts spark conversations that lead to chances. A quiet moment can bring clarity. Sometimes taking a detour brings you right back home. The universe works best through the path of least resistance, like water flowing effortlessly around rocks instead of trying to push them aside. When you stop fighting against what is, your path becomes smooth. Your resistance is what creates the obstacles, while acceptance reveals new paths you didn't even know were there. In a peaceful suburban neighborhood, Estelle spent 30 years teaching math. After her husband passed away, her pride in her teaching methods became a shield, keeping her colleagues and students at arm's length. But when a young teacher suggested a fresh approach, Estelle felt something change within her. Instead of defending her methods, she simply said yes. That one little act of surrender opened the floodgates. Her classroom filled with new energy, her relationships grew stronger, and the loneliness she had been battling quietly faded. These stories show the power of surrender waiting for you. What you resist only sticks around, but what you embrace can transform your life. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's not about giving up, it's about growing up and becoming spiritually mature. As the sun rises tomorrow, think about one area of your life where you've been resisting things habitually. Throughout the day, when that situation pops up, practice accepting it inside. Just say yes in your heart without judging or defending yourself. Watch how this small shift starts to change your experience. Let this be your experiment in surrender, your lab of acceptance. The universe is ready for you to allow it to show you an easier way. In a small town where everyone knew each other's dreams, Elmer was renowned for his big announcements. His voice would fill the local cafe with boasts of his future successes, his hands dancing in the air as he shared his latest plans. Next month, he'd declare, "I'll open that bookstore," or "By summer, you'll see my name on that building." Yet year after year, his grand words scattered like leaves blown by the wind, leaving only silence behind. Then came the illness that took away his voice for weeks. Elmer sat in silence, his dreams trapped inside. At first, he felt caged by his inability to speak, but slowly, something inside him began to change. In that quiet time of recovery, the bookstore he dreamed of for so long started to feel different. Out of nowhere, a building he'd been eyeing became affordable. It needed a new owner, and his application was quickly accepted. Within a few months, his hidden dreams blossomed like morning dew, quiet, natural, and inevitable. The universe doesn't react to how loudly you shout your wishes, but to how deeply you understand them in silence. When you stop spreading your energy through constant talking, it gathers strength like a spring hidden underground. Helen's journey reflects this timeless truth. She was a talented artist, always sharing her creative ideas and plans with anyone who'd listen. Her excitement spilled over during coffee dates and phone calls, leaving her feeling drained and her projects forever unfinished. Then, one day, she saw another artist reveal a completed masterpiece that no one even knew was in the works. That moment hit her. She started to keep her creative visions close, like precious seeds planted in rich soil. In the quiet of her own heart, her ideas grew and thrived. Her energy no longer splattered through endless chatter but focused into pure creative power. When you share your desires too freely, you weaken their energy. Each time you talk about what you want, you lose some of the power needed to bring it to life. This isn't about being secretive. It's about holding your intentions sacred. Think of it as a pressure cooker building steam, where your silent wishes gather strength until they can't help but manifest. So practice this soulful silence. Pick one desire that truly lights a fire in your heart and hold on to it for the next 21 days like a special secret. Don't share it with anyone. Don't talk about it. Instead, every morning before the sun rises, take a moment to cradle that desire in your heart and quietly say, "In silence my power grows." Let that quiet certainty become the foundation for your dreams to sprout. Now, let's talk about Claude, a philosopher who lived in a world of books. He believed all of life's mysteries could be unraveled through logic. His office was filled with dusty volumes of philosophy and reasoning, each one showing his relentless quest for understanding. Claude viewed life as a puzzle, convinced he could solve it if he just thought hard enough. But when love unexpectedly entered his life, he tried to analyze it. He broke things down into parts, creating flowcharts for emotions and spreadsheets for interactions. But when his partner left without saying a word, no logic could heal his broken heart. In that deep moment of loss, Claude realized something you already know. Life doesn't run on logic, it flows through feelings. The universe doesn't speak in facts, it resonates in vibrations. Your thoughts might set the direction, but it's your emotional frequency that moves mountains. This truth is key to manifesting. It's not about what you think, it's about what you feel. The mind understands the past, while the heart creates the future. Take Nora, for example. As a nurse, she doubted anything that couldn't be measured. Each day, she recorded vital signs and tracked medical results, convinced life was predictable. Yet, everything changed when her favorite patient miraculously recovered against all odds. Not through medicine, but through something that went beyond her charts. This shook her beliefs, letting a little wonder in. As Nora started trusting her intuition alongside her scientific training, she noticed more moments that her medical books just couldn't explain. She began to feel her way through life, allowing her heart's wisdom to guide her actions. The miracles she once labeled as mere luck now felt as real as breathing. Your journey of manifestation starts not in lofty thoughts, but in deep feelings. The universe listens not to your mental gymnastics, but to your emotional essence. When you align your heart's vibe with your wishes, you turn into a living prayer. As the morning sun fills the world with golden light, create a haven of sound and emotion. Choose music that resonates with your dreams. Close your eyes and let the melody take you to that desired future. Don't put a name on it. Don't define it. Just feel it. Let your body become a pure vibration, tuned to your dreams. Stay in this feeling for as long as the music plays, knowing that in these moments, you are sending your destiny out to the universe. In the quiet halls of an old monastery, nestled in misty mountains, a transformation was taking place. You're about to uncover one of the universe's biggest secrets, the incredible power of sacred silence. This silence can speed up your ability to manifest far beyond what mere words can ever do. Virgil came to the monastery known for his passionate sermons. His voice had filled many chapels with powerful truths, but when he took his vow of silence, something amazing started to happen inside him. In the quiet, his inner vision became clearer. With no words to scatter his energy, he began to connect with others without speaking. He could heal just with a look and manifest his intentions effortlessly. It seemed the universe had been waiting patiently, ready to work through him the moment he became still. Think about it. When you talk about your desires too soon, you actually release the energy needed to bring them to life. Each time you share, you weaken the power that should go inward, where real change happens. The universe listens not to your words, but to the focused energy of your quiet knowing. Take Ruth, a talented artist who would talk non-stop about her dreams. She shared her ideas about galleries and exhibitions, described every painting she would make, and told everyone about her future successes. But with each retelling, her dreams felt farther away, turning into just stories instead of real possibilities. Then, something shifted inside her. She stopped talking and turned her energy inward. Ruth painted alone, keeping her visions close and safe from the draining effects of idle chatter. Within months, opportunities started to show up as if by magic. Gallery owners found her work. Collectors sought her out. Her art began to speak for itself. Can you see yourself in these stories? How many times have your dreams seemed to fade with every retelling? The universe thrives on sacred silence and the magnetic force of contained energy. When you hold your desires in the quiet space of silence, you let them gather strength and take shape. Here's a sacred practice for you. Choose one special goal that ignites your passion. For 7 days, don't speak a word about it. Each morning, before the world stirs, sit in silence and feel as if this desire is already yours. Channel all the energy you would have used to talk about it into this peaceful exchange. Watch how the universe begins to respond, not to your words, but to your quiet certainty. In a sun-drenched valley where hope had dried up, there stood Lyle at the edge of his parched fields. For months, he paced back and forth, worrying about the weather. He checked reports like a hawk, trying everything he could think of to bring rain. His prayers became more frantic with each day that passed, until finally exhaustion took over, and he gave in. One morning, something changed. Instead of battling the drought, Lyle chose to sit quietly on his porch and accept things as they were. In that moment of calm, he felt connected to the dry earth beneath him. His breathing slowed, his mind cleared. A deep peace washed over him. That very evening, clouds gathered, and by night, gentle rain blessed his land. This truth stands the test of time. The universe reflects your inner state. When you find stillness within, the outside world responds. Your thoughts and feelings create waves in the space around you. Imagine a calm pond perfectly mirroring the sky above. With a peaceful mind, the universe can flow through you without blockages. Think about how water acts in turmoil. It becomes muddy and chaotic. But when it's still, clarity comes naturally. Your mind works the same way. When you stop fighting internally, solutions come effortlessly and everything aligns. Take Edna's story, for example. As her wedding day approached, she was swept up in a storm of details, family pressures, and vendor chaos. The more she tried to control it all, the more things fell apart. Then she got sick and had to rest. That's when everything changed. In her quiet state, she found that the plans fell into place with surprising ease. The things that had been difficult to arrange suddenly came together when she stopped pushing them. What Edna learned, and what you should know, is that peace is powerful. Staying calm makes you a steady point in a chaotic world, allowing life to align around your tranquility. Every morning, as the first light breaks, find a quiet spot. Sit comfortably, letting your spine rise naturally towards the sky. Begin the sacred breath. Inhale for a count of 4, filling yourself with potential. Hold that breath for 7 counts, allowing peace to fill every inch of you. Take a deep breath and let it out for 8 counts, letting go of any tension you're holding on to. Keep this rhythm going until you feel calm and clear. In this space of total tranquility, you connect with the creative energy of the universe itself. Chapter 16. Let it be, and it becomes. In the heart of a busy city lived Leon, an inventor. His workshop was filled with the sound of machines and the weight of dreams yet to be realized. Each morning he arrived before dawn, eager to perfect his groundbreaking energy device. His hands shook with too much caffeine and a lot of determination as he fiddled with every part to get it just right. But the more he forced things, the more success seemed to slip through his fingers. One chilly winter morning, after yet another failed attempt, Leon did something unexpected. He walked away. Not in defeat, but in surrender to a deeper understanding that softly urged him to let go. He put his blueprints away, cleared his workbench, and for the first time in years, he allowed himself to simply breathe, free from the weight of trying to control everything. 3 months later, a retired engineer stumbled upon Leon's old patent application. Intrigued by its potential, he shared it with investors who had the means to make it happen. The very project Leon had released came back to him, transformed by forces he couldn't control. The universe has its own sacred rules that often don't make sense to us. When you loosen your grip on what you want most, you open the door for something greater to come through. This truth shows up time and again for those willing to trust the power of letting go. Think about Pearl. Her little bakery was struggling because she was trying to control everything, right down to the exact temperature of the ovens and how every display looked. But success kept slipping away until one day her old mixer broke. That pushed her to adapt. In that uncertain space, she learned that her customers loved the little quirks in her bread, the natural look of her displays, and the joyful energy that filled her shop when she stopped trying to micromanage everything. These stories echo the timeless truth that whispers through history. Your true power lies not in control, but in letting go. When you take a step back from your struggles, you allow the universe's infinite wisdom to work on your behalf. This isn't about giving up, it's about trusting the process. Instead of just pushing your own will, get in sync with something bigger than yourself. Take a minute now. Grab a piece of paper and jot down what you're struggling with. Feel its weight in your hands. Then, with respect, tuck it into an envelope. Write, "Handled by the universe" on it. For 7 nights, keep that envelope under your pillow while you sleep. Trust that forces beyond your grasp are already crafting solutions you never imagined. This isn't just some symbolic gesture. It's a way of trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. Chapter 17. Sacred Inaction. Not too long ago, there was a well-respected executive named Willis. He believed his value came from how many hours he worked and what he accomplished. Every evening he'd come home proud but exhausted, wearing his tiredness like a badge of honor. Yet, when illness forced him to rest for a whole month, something remarkable happened. In those quiet times, with no appointments lined up and his phone mute, Willis stumbled upon a truth he had missed while always on the go. The universe started to converse with him through silence. It whispered an ancient wisdom. Acting out of fear only brings more fear, while being still and trusting opens up endless possibilities. We've all been conditioned to think our worth is tied to doing, producing, constantly achieving. But that idea comes from a narrow view of those who have forgotten the sacred timing of the universe. When you stop the relentless doing, you step into a space where miracles can happen. It's in the pauses between your actions that the universe aligns everything in your favor. Remember, your worth isn't about ticking off tasks or hitting goals. It's something you simply embody. Take Elaine, for example. She was a writer who spent years trying to force words onto blank pages. Every morning she'd sit at her desk, willing inspiration to strike through sheer stubbornness. But her breakthrough came only when she allowed herself to take aimless afternoon walks and spend mornings watching clouds drift by. In those moments of just being, her best ideas flowed naturally and beautifully. This reflects your own journey. The times you think you should be doing more, those are exactly the times to do less. Just being present and still sends ripples through reality that are more powerful than any action you could take. Taking action might lead to meaningful moments. Set aside just 30 minutes each day. Consider it your peaceful sanctuary. Put down your phone. Step away from planning or worrying about the future. Just be. This isn't about meditating to achieve something. It's about being present. Feel your worth in this space of simply not doing. Here, you connect with a boundless power that has guided the stars long before we learned to create. In a quiet, ancient village where time flowed slowly, there was Sylvester. He was a master of iron and fire. Each day, instead of rushing, he approached his forge with respect. The metal spoke to him, revealing that force only causes breakage, while patient heat transforms everything. Patience isn't about just waiting. It's an active power, refined and strong. If you push against the natural flow of things, you create delays in what you want. The universe has perfect timing. Your alignment with this timing shapes how gracefully your desires come to life. Sylvester learned through years of working with stubborn metal that the greatest changes happen not through sheer effort, but by sensing the exact moment when the iron is ready to bend. This wisdom also applies to how we manifest our dreams. What feels like a delay is often the universe preparing everything to be just right. In a faraway city, Irene had spent 7 years dreaming of opening a healing center. Each morning, she marked another day, feeling the weight of her anticipation. Then one day, she stopped counting. She let go of her tight hold on time, allowing the universe to work in ways she couldn't see. Within months, doors she tried to force open simply disappeared, revealing a pathway she never could have imagined. Your dreams are like seeds in a garden of endless possibilities. You can't rush their growth by digging them up daily to check on them. The universe knows the right timing, and trusting that timing is the secret that makes your dreams come true. For your sacred practice, take a blank sheet of paper. At the top, write, "All is unfolding in divine timing." List your heart's desires as if they've already come true. Next to each one, think of a future date not as a deadline, but as a sign of your faith in the universe's perfect timing. Put this date somewhere you'll notice it every day, but don't keep changing it or fixating on it. Let it be your promise to the timing of the universe, a reminder that what's meant for you is already on its way, growing in the background until it's ready to show itself. In Chapter 19, we see that signs are a way of surrendering. In the busy streets of a city, Cornelius was always searching. His mind was filled with questions, and he begged the universe for answers. He prayed loudly and urgently, but the heavens felt silent. For months, he looked for signs, analyzing everything, searching for hidden meanings, until he was simply too tired to keep it up. It was only when he finally let go that the universe started to respond. When he stopped forcing himself to see, the signs appeared naturally, like morning dew. A book opened to just the right page. A stranger said exactly what he needed to hear. Numbers aligned, paths crossed, and doors opened, none of it because he forced it, but because he stopped resisting. The universe speaks softly, not with loud demands, but through synchronicity. Those little alignments pop up when you stop needing and start welcoming. Your frantic search for signs can create a noise that drowns out the messages meant for you. Think of it like tuning a radio. You need to find the frequency of trust, not need. Bernice got this lesson after years of fighting against it. As a math professor, she relied on proof and odds, but everything changed when she let go of needing solid evidence and instead embraced the unknown. Suddenly, patterns appeared that regular statistics couldn't explain. The same message popped up in 3 different places, and chance encounters seemed too perfect to be random. What she once thought were coincidences now felt like they were guided by something much wiser than her mind. These tales reflect your own path toward receiving guidance. The signs you're hoping for are already there, waiting in the quiet moments of your mind. They come not when you're demanding them, but when you create stillness to allow them in. Your surrender acts as the antenna for the universe's messages. Find a moment at dawn or dusk when nature feels just right. Walk alone, letting each step help you let go of expectations. Whisper, "Show me a sign," and then let those words float away. Keep walking, open and ready for whatever comes your way, without looking for anything or trying to run from it. When you get home, jot down any strange coincidences, unexpected meetings, or soft nudges you noticed. Trust that whatever showed up was what you needed to see, even if it doesn't make sense right away. In a small garden, on a warm day, Howard sat in his old rocking chair, amazed by how life was unfolding. For 30 years, he had followed his postal route, delivering other people's hopes while pushing his dreams to the side. Each morning, he woke up before dawn and trudged through rain and snow, thinking that only by staying busy could he achieve something. But now, in retirement, he saw something incredible. The things he used to chase, the art classes he gave up, friends he neglected, and peace he searched for, started flowing into his life effortlessly. A neighbor invited him to join a painting group, old friends popped back into his life, and his garden thrived not from hard work, but from trust. The universe communicates softly, and its gifts come quietly when you stop the frantic chase. You don't have to force your alignment with life, you just notice it, like the sun warming your face or a gentle breeze bringing the scent of roses. Think about Mildred, who used to fill her days with endless tasks. Her schedule was packed, her mind racing, but she never felt truly fulfilled. Then one day, worn out from the hunt, she paused. She sunk into her favorite chair and watched the world outside her window. In that sacred stillness, everything changed. The right chances showed up right when she needed them, and perfect connections came effortlessly. Her life began to come together around her peace, like iron filings lining up with a magnet. What you've been seeking has always been looking for you, but its quiet knock couldn't be heard over the noise of your busy life. Letting go of that need opens the door for magic to come in. To shape every moment, you'll see that the universe has been creating a beautiful melody just for you. At the end of each day, grab your watch at work journal. Write down every time life worked in your favor without you lifting a finger. Remember that unexpected phone call that opened up new opportunities, or that chance encounter that changed everything. Notice the solutions that popped up when you weren't even looking. Each entry will deepen your trust in the unseen force that guides us all. As you do this, you'll start to notice the incredible dance of the universe. This flow becomes clear only when you stop trying to control it. In part 3, we dive into the mastery of unseen forces. In a busy market filled with chatter, Alvin stood behind his simple flower stall. Unlike the other sellers shouting for attention, he quietly arranged his flowers with true care. Years back, he tried hard to stand out, shouting and making big gestures to get noticed. But something changed inside him. He let go so completely that it transformed who he was. Over time, something amazing happened. People began to stop at his stall, not because of flashy signs or loud sales pitches, but drawn to his calm presence. They found themselves hanging around, sharing stories, seeking his advice. Without trying to be important, he became essential. This is spiritual gravity at work. Just like the sun doesn't need to shout to share its warmth, your centered presence naturally attracts others. When you stop trying to prove your worth, you unleash an ancient force that does wonders beyond any effort. Gertrude learned this lesson in her own way. As a well-respected elder in her community, she always felt she had to justify her choices and explain her wisdom, making every meeting a long explanation. Yet she noticed people zoning out, losing interest. Then she lost her voice for several weeks. In that silence, something profound happened. When she could speak again, she found herself sharing only what mattered, simple and clear thoughts that came from deep within. To her surprise, people leaned in closer, hanging on her every word, drawn in by her quiet confidence. Carried more weight than all her past explanations put together. Real power is like gravity. It's unseen but hard to resist. It doesn't push, it pulls. It doesn't persuade, it attracts. When you stand strong in your truth without the need to explain or defend, you become immovable like a mountain while shifting everything around you. So in your next important chat, try practicing the power of less. Instead of saying 10 words, go for just 5. Instead of rushing to fill every silence, let it breathe. Notice how this tiny change creates room for others to come closer. Your quiet presence can pull in attention and respect all on its own. Let your words come from a place of solid certainty instead of nervousness. This change not only shifts the conversation, but also the energy in the room. When you do less, you become more. When you say less, you're heard more clearly. In Chapter 22, we explore faith so deep it doesn't need words. In a quiet, old village, there was a merchant named Homer. He had built his life on certainty and security. But one season, everything he owned was taken away, his wealth, his status, his connections. Yet in this emptiness, he discovered a truth that goes beyond losing material things. While others rushed to find solutions or rebuild, Homer did something remarkable. He sat in perfect stillness. No prayers escaped his lips, and no frantic plans filled his mind. Deep inside, he just knew everything would be restored in the right time. This solid knowing, free from doubt or desperation, has the power to move mountains. When you stop needing to speak your faith to prove it or get validation, you connect with the deepest laws of the universe. Silent certainty is the purest form of trust. Think of Lillian, whose daughter vanished without a trace. While others searched and posted notices, Lillian retreated into a sacred stillness. Each morning, she sat in her garden, holding on to her quiet certainty of reunion. She didn't talk about her daughter's return or question when it would happen. Her faith didn't need words. It lived in a place beyond them. One autumn morning, as the leaves turned golden, her daughter appeared at the garden gate, drawn back home by an unexplainable force. It's not about how loudly you ask, it's about how deeply you believe. When your faith is so strong that it doesn't need to be voiced, you've tapped into true strength. This isn't about just waiting, it's a powerful way of aligning yourself with what you want. Find a quiet spot where you can feel enveloped by silence. Take 10 minutes to sit with your desires as if they've already come true. Don't ask, don't hope, don't doubt. Just know, as surely as the sun rises, that what you want is already yours in a world you can't see. Let that conviction fill every part of you, without the need for words or proof. This is the essence of quiet faith, the highest level of spiritual certainty. Now, no one around you needs to be aware of this. There's a tale to share about the strength of silence. Once, there was a merchant named Melvin. He was known for his loud voice, filling town squares with his dreams and plans. Each time he shared them, it seemed to make him stronger. But strangely, with every word, his dreams felt further away, slipping through his fingers. Then, through a moment of divine insight, Melvin learned an old truth. The most valuable things should often stay unspoken. He began to protect his dreams, nurturing them like a gardener would tender plants, not out of fear, but from realizing the power that silence holds. The universe whispers, and those who keep quiet find their energy building up, just like morning dew. When you shout your intentions to the world, you scatter the very energy needed to make them happen. Well-meaning words can weaken the magnetic pull of your dreams. In a small shop at the edge of town, Betty stitched beautiful garments from thin air, like creations from pure inspiration. The ideas she shared often stayed just ideas, while the ones she kept close to her heart flowed into existence fast. Her secret creations had a power that the ones she talked about never did. This understanding goes beyond creative work. It affects every aspect of life where change is desired. The universe doesn't respond to what you say out loud, but to the focused energy you keep inside. When you guard your dreams against idle talk, you make a special space where your dreams can grow without interruption. Now's the time to focus on just one precious dream, one possibility that lives deep in your heart. For the next 30 days, keep it a secret. Don't share it with anyone or talk about it. Instead, nurture it quietly within yourself. Water it with calm belief and watch how it becomes stronger in this safe, silent space. Here, the power of your silence fuels your dream. In this quiet, you'll discover a strength that talking about your dreams could never provide. Follow this ancient practice. Pick one beloved goal and keep it to yourself for 30 days. Each morning, acknowledge it silently in your heart, feeding it with unshakable faith. Don't let a single word slip out and let its energy build within you. Now, let me tell you a story about Dennis. He drove trains through the countryside, gripping the controls tightly as he anxiously watched the clock, believing that his stress kept things running. But one morning, as dawn broke with soft colors, Dennis saw something that shifted everything for him. A flock of birds flew in perfect formation, neither rushing nor dragging their feet. In that moment, a light of understanding sparked in him. Nature never hurried, yet everything arrived right on time. From then on, Dennis loosened his grip on time. He embraced a calm certainty, realizing the universe has its own perfect timing. As he found this inner peace, something magical happened. His trains began to run smoother, and his life began to fall into place. This isn't just Dennis's story, it's a truth that applies to you too. When you stop forcing things to happen and let go of the need to control timing, you sync with the universe's natural rhythm. It's not luck, it's a cosmic law. What you desire will appear when your energy aligns with it. Think about May, who lived in a small cottage by the town. While others were frantically chasing after abundance, she spent her mornings in quiet gratitude, preparing her home and heart as if prosperity was already on its way. Fresh flowers filled empty vases, and her cupboard stayed neat, not out of need but from an understanding that her calm expectation created a magnetic pull. Soon her life reflected the abundance she cherished. Your life runs by the same rule. When peaceful expectation takes the place of anxious wanting, you set up a match for your desires. This isn't about passively waiting, it's about actively aligning yourself. It's a way of being that brings good things your way at just the right time. Each morning, When the sun rises, grab your journal and write with intention. I expect miracles today because I am aligned. Let those words sink into your mind, not just as hope, but as a living truth. Carry this quiet confidence with you throughout your day, filling every breath and step with it. This isn't simply something to repeat, it's a way of being that you need to embrace. Chapter 25. Speak only when the world has shifted. In the bustle of life, there's a sacred truth about the strength of what's left unsaid. Let me tell you about Ernest, a man whose life changed when he learned to protect the seeds of his growth. Ernest had always been one to broadcast his plans and seek validation all the time. Every morning, he'd update his friends on his latest projects, new habits, and little wins. Yet, with every announcement, he felt his dreams dimming, his energy fading like mist under the morning sun. Then, by divine grace, a period of solitude came into his life. In this quiet space, Ernest realized that his unspoken actions held a magnetic power that his loud declarations never did. As he worked in silence, his transformation deepened, and the universe responded, not to his words, but to his quiet commitment. The law of unspoken power teaches us this truth. When you protect the sacred growth within you, you preserve its strength. Your energy, untainted by early sharing, becomes a powerful force for manifestation. The universe respects what you nurture quietly, much more than what you rush to announce. This lesson echoes in the story of Opal. Her little shop struggled even though she was always sharing updates about changes and improvements. Each announcement she paused, realizing that her constant sharing was slowing down her journey. In a moment of clarity, she decided to stop talking and just work quietly. She set things in motion and let the results come naturally. Within months, her shop transformed. Customers noticed and began to talk about the changes, their words carrying more weight than her earlier announcements ever did. She learned that true power doesn't come from just talking about what's coming, but from letting everything unfold at its own pace. Do you relate to this? How often do you feel the need to share what you're working on? It's a natural urge, but it can disrupt the careful process of making dreams come true. Think of your dreams as delicate seeds that need darkness to grow. For the next week, try embracing the power of silence. Keep your progress to yourself, like a special secret between you and the universe. When the results show up, they'll speak for themselves, filled with the energy of genuine achievement. This practice will help you understand the difference between making announcements and allowing things to happen, between forcing attention and earning it through quiet effort. Now, let me tell you about Wallace. He lived his life convinced that constant intervention was necessary. Every morning, he had a list of problems to fix and outcomes to control. But the more he tried to manage everything, the more life slipped away like water through his fingers. One day, exhausted from his endless attempts, he simply stopped, not out of wisdom, but because he was too tired to continue. In that moment of surrender, he saw something amazing. Everything he struggled to control started to fall into place on its own. The problems he fought to solve vanished without him even touching them, and solutions popped up from unexpected places. The universe has its own wisdom, one that often goes beyond what we can understand. When you take a step back from always trying to control everything, you create room for something bigger to work its magic. This isn't about giving up your responsibilities. It's about trusting that there's a natural order to things. Take Eloise, for instance. She spent years trying to micromanage her future, planning every tiny detail. Her calendar was packed with deadlines and goals, all signifying her need to control time. Yet, no matter how much she planned, the future just wouldn't conform to her wishes. It was only when she let go of her tight grip that everything started to fall into place. In that pause from constant planning, she found that time had its own perfect timing. Opportunities came around just when they were meant to, without any force needed. The future she tried so hard to create was already unfolding, guided by something much bigger than herself. There may be parts of your life where you're trying too hard to make things happen. Every time you push for a certain outcome, you create barriers in manifesting your desires. Stepping back doesn't mean defeat. It means recognizing a higher order beyond what you can see. So here's a simple yet powerful challenge. Pick one situation that's been draining your energy. For the next 48 hours, completely pull back. No planning, no tweaking, no trying to steer the outcome. Whenever thoughts about it pop up, just say to yourself, "The divine knows what I do not." This is your way of surrendering to a wisdom greater than your own. Through this practice, you'll open the door to a deeper trust in how the universe works. By stepping back, you make space for miracles to happen in their own perfect time. Now, let's talk about the quiet strength that shapes reality. In ancient wisdom traditions, there's an understanding of power that doesn't rely on loud declarations or force. There's a story about Archie that illustrates this beautifully. Archie moved from house to house, tuning pianos with such care that it felt like time slowed down when he was around. People watched him work and naturally started to mirror his steady breathing and calm movements. Without saying a thing, he entered their spaces and transformed them. In a room, everything would change. Conversations would soften, movements would slow, and a deep peace would settle in. His strength wasn't about what he did, but who he had become after years of nurturing his inner calm. Through this quiet, you'll find that real influence doesn't come from your words, but from the energy you give off. When you sync with the sacred rhythm of inner peace, the world outside starts to align with your stillness. That's the secret to energetic power, one that doesn't need loudness to be impactful. Take Bula, for instance. She once lingered in the shadows of her own doubt, never aiming to lead or raise her voice to get attention. But as she developed a steady inner calm, something incredible happened. People began to seek her out in chaotic times, attracted to the steady haven she offered. Without any fanfare or announcement, she became the heart of her community, not through forcefulness, but by embodying peace. These stories show a powerful truth. Your state of being sends out a message louder than any words. The universe responds not to how loud you are, but to your vibe, not to demands, but to resonance. So here's a little practice. Find a place, maybe a room, a gathering, or even a busy street, and just be silent. Ground yourself in the knowledge that your presence is enough. Pay attention to how the energy around you changes and how others naturally react to your calmness. Let your serenity be your command, your peace be your strength. Through this practice, you'll see how the atmosphere shifts to match your energy without you saying anything at all. Now consider Leonard, who walked through quiet streets at dawn. People hardly noticed him, but his presence was greatly felt. They might have seen just an ordinary man, yet extraordinary things happened around him. Gardens bloomed early, feuding neighbors reconciled, and kids turned their fears into joyful dreams. He never took credit, never bragged about his abilities, and never sought acclaim. The universe works through those in pure alignment, those who don't need to be seen, acknowledged, or validated. Your true power shines not when you shout it out, but when you simply are. Embrace your true self so fully that you become like the air, essential, yet invisible. Think about how the moon influences the tides quietly, how gravity unites the planets without applause, and how sunlight nurtures life without asking for thanks. These forces shape our reality precisely because they work in the background, unnoticed. In a small artist community, Cora spent many years in her studio, painting away, rarely sharing her thoughts or words. Early on, she had her share of exhibitions and reviews, but as the years went by, she stepped back from the art scene. It was in the peaceful solitude of her studio that her work began to glow with a strange light. Visitors at her rare shows would just stand there, amazed by canvases that seemed alive with brilliance. That power didn't come from recognition. It thrived in the silence of absence. You, too, have this quiet strength inside you. When you let go of the desire for others to witness your spiritual journey and let your energy flow freely, you tap into a deeper force of universal power. Your real impact spreads outward, not through loud proclamations, but through the genuine energy of who you are. Take a moment to pause with pen and paper. At the top of the page, write, "My Hidden Power." Jot down 3 ways you influence reality without being noticed. Maybe it's how your calm presence brings comfort to others without saying a word, how your focused thoughts create change without action, or how your quiet faith can move mountains while others aren't looking. Let this list remind you of your unseen strength, a personal tribute to the power that doesn't need an audience to create its magic. Chapter 29. The last action is non-action. In the serene hills overlooking a small valley, Everett sat in his old rocking chair, watching the sunrise paint the sky. At 92, his greatest wisdom came not from his actions, but from what he let life do through him. The moments that shaped him the most were those when he took a step back, letting the universe work its quiet wonders. Life's biggest transformations often come not from pushing hard, but from embracing stillness. When you stop trying to control everything, you connect with a force much larger than your own limited view. This truth shines through when you see how the most significant changes in your life often happen during moments when you chose not to interfere. Embrace the path of non-action. It demands a profound trust, a trust that goes deeper than just believing. It asks you to see that sometimes the strongest action is to do nothing at all. This isn't about giving up, it's an active choice to surrender to the vast wisdom that connects everything. Take Della, for instance. She spent years chasing success, always busy, always moving. One autumn morning, she felt pulled to a quiet meadow. Underneath an old oak tree, she just sat. No phone, no plans, no goals, just being there. In that 1 hour of total stillness, something inside her changed. The clarity she had been searching for through endless seminars and techniques showed up effortlessly in the quiet. That moment of open receptivity shifted the entire course of her life. This story reflects a truth that's waiting for you. The universe often communicates most clearly when you stop trying to control its voice. The wisdom you're looking for is already inside you, just waiting for your attention, not your effort. So find a spot in nature that speaks to you. Sit there for a full hour. Don't try to meditate, solve issues, or figure things out. Just be present. Let the wind, the trees, and the earth share their wisdom with you if they want to. Make no demands. This time isn't for achieving anything. It's for allowing everything. Let that hour open up to the effortless power that flows through all things. Now let's talk about Samuel. He spent decades rummaging through dusty old books in an ancient library, searching for hidden paths to universal power. Maybe you see yourself in his never-ending quest, always striving for something just out of reach. But the truth that changed Samuel's life didn't come from all those texts. It came from the silence in between their words. When he finally sat in stillness, in that moment of surrender, the wisdom he had chased around the world came back to him, not as new information, but as a reminder of what he always knew. The power he longed for had never been buried in secret teachings. It was waiting for him all along. And that truth is with you right now as you read this. The force that can move mountains and change realities isn't something you need to gain. It's your default state, just hidden under layers of doubt and constant doing. Consider Mavis, whose life unfolded like a sacred. After years of loss that took away everything she once relied on, she found a solid truth. Joy doesn't need a reason, and true strength doesn't need proof. In her moments of surrender and stillness, she learned to quietly celebrate what already existed, rather than longing for what could be. This journey of rediscovering your inner power is not about becoming someone new. It's really about remembering who you've always been. The universe has been waiting for you to see this. You aren't separate from its strength. You are a part of it. As dusk falls, find a calm spot where you can relax and won't be interrupted. Light a candle, letting its flame remind you of the eternal light within yourself. Settle into the quiet and gently say, "The power is within me, and it's enough." For 10 minutes, just sit with this truth. Don't force any feelings or try to achieve anything. Just rest in the awareness of what has always been true. Let the candlelight remind you that your inner flame has never faded. It has simply been waiting for you to notice. Now, through these sacred stories, you've uncovered what ages have whispered. True power comes from being, not just doing. This wisdom, passed down from silent sages, now lives in your heart. Protect it well, not as a secret to hide, but as a flame to care for. This knowledge isn't meant for arguments or discussions. It's a truth meant to be lived. When you talk about these ideas too soon, you might lose their power. The universe responds not to your words, but to your energy, and silence carries the highest vibration. Let your newly transformed life be the evidence needed. When others notice the change in your energy, the peace around you, and the grace in your journey, they will ask. When they do, speak less. Guide them back to their own inner understanding. Remember, the greatest masters spoke quietly. Their strength was felt, not heard, their presence transformed without needing loud proclamations. You now belong to this lineage of those who knew that true power doesn't require a big announcement. In the days ahead, as you take these lessons to heart, resist the need to explain your transformation. Let the outcomes show for themselves. Your role is to embody these truths, not preach about them. Stay grounded in the silence. Where all strength comes from, notice how life starts to shift around your calm confidence. The universe reacts best to those who can embrace quiet moments. Your connection is something private between you and the divine. As you respect this truth with your silence, watch the unseen powers of creation working for you. Keep this knowledge close to your heart. Let it flow through you quietly. Your changed presence will speak volumes on its own. If you like this unique audiobook, I've chosen another book that will change your life.